All right. Thanks for jumping on, guys. This is the first episode we have of mostly uneducated opinions. I'm here with co-host, which sounds super fucking weird to say, Clinton Adamson. Thanks for jumping on.
Thanks for having me, man.
Look, man, who is Clint? Tell us that.
So my name's Clint. Me and you have known each other for about a year and a half now, I think.
Yeah.
I came down to Helix after my fiance, or now wife, was there, and she said it was obviously very, very good. So a bit about me. I've just recently started up my own brand, Absolute Clo. Just a little clothing brand I've wanting to start for a while now. My 9-to-5 job is I work for Celebration Homes as a site manager. It's pretty busy. Previous to that, I was I did FIFO for a while. I was up north in Marble Bar for about a year and a half as a driller's offsider. And then I moved to place in Port Hedland. Was there for another year and a half or so as well, and driving trucks. And now I'm home doing Celebration Homes.
Getting it done. And you got out of the FIFO trap, which I don't think many people do. Everyone says they're going to do FIFO for 12 months, save up a heap of money, buy a house, and then get out, and then they end up doing it till they're like 90.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I had a 7-year plan, did it in 3. So nice. I was pretty stoked with that. I just went up there purely to buy a new car.
Yeah.
And buy a house.
And now you sold the car.
And now I sold the car and buying a new one on Tuesday.
Nice. What are you getting?
Jacob at the gym, I'm buying his MP300.
What is that?
Navara.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, big 4-inch lift.
I have the biggest four-wheel drive in the world. And I have no idea about four-wheel drive.
Yeah.
MP300 is. So this podcast or this specific episode, we're talking mostly uneducated opinions. And we're starting off with, I saw this crazy video on YouTube, and it was this big jacked gorilla deadlifting 930 pounds for 3, which was absolutely huge. And I saw the video. Clint and I are actually just going to check this out at the moment. Is this him? Yeah.
What's 930 pound in kilos? 400 odd kilos or something.
Yeah, 400 odd kilos. Larry Wheels. And then Clint messaged me and he was like, he's got a porn addiction. And I was like, how do you know he has a porn addiction?
He's actually done a video about it. He had a a webcam cam girl addiction.
Really?
And he went full bankrupt
from it.
Yeah. He's done a full video on it.
How much you spend on that?
I think you tip him. Yeah. And then they do obviously what you want to do.
Yeah.
And so he went proper bankrupt.
Man, his ex-girlfriend, do you remember that chick? She used to be on Instagram. Anyway, he had this ex-girlfriend. She put up a video of herself eating a hot dog, but like sexually eating it, like scoffing it. And
sick. Went viral.
It went viral. And that's how I heard about him, from his girlfriend going viral.
Sure, yeah. I was watching him back in the day when I had no idea what to do on the gym. Yeah. And I was trying to do what he did and was obviously nowhere near it.
Do you reckon he's natty?
Nah, surely not, man. You can't. I think he's like 20-something years old as well. I think he's like 27 years old, 28 years old.
Look at the state of him, getting rubbed by a girl.
Massive, eh?
Yeah, he's a big unit.
I like where he wears his glasses in the gym as well, and he's like full nerd spec.
He's got tits.
But yeah,
literally got tits. So this led me on to another topic. I was listening to a podcast and they were saying that the top 10% of blokes on dating apps are banging 80% of the women on dating apps. And if you think about that from like a human race point of view, it's pretty crazy. So the bottom or the bottom 90% of dudes are getting nothing.
They're just getting the old swipes.
Yeah. So this where this porn addiction thing comes in, because they're just sitting at home watching porn, jerking off, not really bothering with dating apps. And then the top 10% of dudes are like, why the fuck would I want a girlfriend when I can just have any girl I want?
Literally, yeah.
Which we've probably seen in our circle as well,
yeah,
like many times.
Yeah.
But it's a big problem because, no one's getting engaged, no one's having kids. The rate of fertility is dropping big time. And then I think recently, from what I heard, like our human evolution and the amount of people we have in the world is slowly coming to a halt.
I think that's a good idea anyway, to be honest. We got too many people as is. The whole staying at home and using the old right hand, I think is getting more and more
super popular.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to get cheaper, easier. I think it's going to get worse with VR as well.
Yeah,
that's going to be it's going to be realistic. Why would you go outside when you can just stay inside and work the old right hand.
Yeah, but
Or
I
left
don't
hand.
know. That can't be good for society.
Definitely not. Nah,
No.
not good for the human race.
They were also saying that like women are taking less shit, so to speak. Like they only want a certain type of dude who's like educated and smart and you know, he's got his shit together and he's wealthy and all these types of things. So they'd just end up being single.
Which isn't a whole lot of dudes out there, eh?
Which is not a whole lot of dudes. Yeah, we're gonna have big problems going forward.
I think the world could definitely do a lot less people, I reckon.
Yeah.
But then there's the old
You sound like Bill Gates.
there's the other side to the argument, and people say, like Elon Musk, for example, he reckons we can fit a whole lot more people. Like, you know, if you look at the space we have in Australia, China, we have heaps of space. We can fit a whole lot more people, but whether or not that's too good for the world, or I don't know.
Seems like, yeah, especially in the last couple of years with whatever the fuck's going on in the world with, you know, you can't even get a fucking car. It took me like 8 months to get a car. What's the first world problem? But like food, car, you know, cost of living expenses, everything's on the rise. Doesn't seem like it's going in the right direction. But I feel like if someone might be pulling the strings on that without getting too into the conspiracy on the podcast.
Yeah, actually, speaking of conspiracies, last night was reading up about that younger dries conspiracy. I think the meteor was hit, and apparently human evolution has reset. I don't know if I believe it. Sounds, a couple of times, you know, because they said that, you know, if a meteor did hit, then all of our technology that we have now would obviously be wiped, and all we'd be left with would be a mortar and pestle, which is all they're finding.
Yeah, I've heard this so many times on Joe Rogan, and he loves to talk about it as well. Yeah. But yeah, it's quite hard to imagine that we've been here before. But do you know there's been 200 billion people that have lived on the Earth in our, like, the time Earth's been around? 200 billion. Jesus. So we're on 8 billion at the moment. So there's like 4% of the total world population of all time is only alive right now. When do you think about that?
When did we hit 8 billion?
Fuck, not that long ago.
Oh, okay.
200 billion.
That's a lot of people, eh? A lot of people.
Crazy. Anyway, next topic. We want to talk about body dysmorphia because I think in terms of like a health and fitness podcast, it's something that's super prevalent at the moment, especially as a coach. I've coached thousands of people, and I usually end up having the same conversation over and over. And the conversation goes something like, yeah, but I'm only going to be happy when I get to X. And X is just a continual goalpost that moves further and further away every time you get closer to X.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look at Instagram as well. It's what the X all over it, and it's not realistic, I think.
No, it's perpetuating like this mental health epidemic of people that just don't think they're good enough. I used to be, you know, in my head, I was like, all right, just when I get to 90 kilos and I'm 15% body fat, I'm going to be happy. And currently I'm 14% body fat and 97 kilos. And nothing has changed for me. I just keep bringing the goalpost forward. I'm like, let's get to 100.
Yeah.
Let's get to X. And I feel like it's just going to go forever. Well, I'm 31 now, so I don't know if it's going to go any further.
I don't think that's such a bad thing, though.
Yeah, it's not bad, but it's not good.
Realistic.
Yeah. It's not bad, but it's not good. But especially with like, you know, physical and performance related goals. I get so like last night in the gym, a couple of the girls, we have some absolute savages in the gym, especially the girls. And they're trying to snatch 1RMs and shit was wild. And, you know, the girls were like, I will be happy when I hit 55. And I'm like, you're not going to be happy when you hit 55 because next week it's going to be 60. Then it's 65, then it's 70. And I think this kind of lends back into the whole body dysmorphia thing as well and comparison to social media. What are your thoughts?
I mean, for me personally, I've never struggled with it. I don't know how I've never struggled with it, but, you know, I'm pretty happy just with seeing it all the time. I mean, the only thing I struggle with really is just the same as you, I guess, just trying to be better. You know, but I don't think it's going anywhere. You know, especially young females are spending all their time on social media, just scroll. But I mean, as you mentioned in your previous podcast, you know, having that break on the weekend might fix a few things. But yeah, I think it's just going to get worse and worse. To be honest,
I think the key here is the cull of people that you're following that are bringing you forward. It's all well and good just to follow like the absolute 1% pinnacle of the world, but then it becomes realistic because you compare yourself to them. And I think like having a weekend off technology is also a good thing.
How do you get your work done though if you're doing the weekend?
Well,
or you just stay on Monday?
It's funny. Steph and I were talking about this yesterday. A lot of my business is online in terms of marketing, but the real crux of like where the business grows is face to face in person.
True, yeah.
So like you could grow a gym much faster just being a really good operator and a really good coach than you could marketing on social media, because it just like blends in these days because every cunt's doing social media.
True.
And there's no way to stand out. But if you can give someone like a real cool experience face to face, I think that's probably a better way around it.
Better, what do you call it? First impression, eh?
Yeah. And word of mouth is much stronger.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
So it feels like in Perth, especially that COVID has kind of just come to a seizing halt at the moment. It doesn't really exist, especially in our circles. But I realize that's not in every circle in Perth at the moment. Without going political and without naming names of the dictators in charge, I just wanted to know, if we could put a positive light on the last 2.5 years of COVID and mandates, like what would your pros be of this situation? Like what are the good things that have come out of it?
Not a whole lot of good things, I reckon.
Surely.
I mean, I don't know, to be honest. I can't really feel like this is good at all. I think this has just been worse and worse because, you're driving around Perth and you look to your left and you see some person sitting in their car by themselves with a mask on.
Yeah.
What are you saving?
It's kind of sad.
I think people are scared nowadays to stop everything. It's just, for me, my whole viewpoint was it was just the flu. I got COVID and it took me 3 days to get over it. And it was pretty sweet. But I mean, I guess positive, maybe people are starting to take a bit more care of themselves.
Yeah.
Spend a bit more time in the sun. Drink a whole lot more water. Things like that. But
yeah, there's definitely been like a health improvement as a whole, if as far as I can tell. I think that first lockdown was like kind of cool.
Yeah,
like it was fucking shit. Like I lost a fuckload of money and business was not great, but I had like 9 weeks to really like work on myself.
Yeah.
And I know we didn't have it bad compared to the Eastern States or anywhere else in the world,
yeah.
but I feel like I got closer with my family. Like I was definitely spending more family time during that period as well.
Yeah. See, for me, I the first lockdown, I still worked because I was up north at that point. So we were classed as a essential worker.
Yeah, you were in bottle shops.
Just digging holes is essential apparently. But yeah, so for me, I didn't get locked down. Obviously when we came home for the week, we were locked down, but everyone was usually at work anyway. So life was kind of the same for me, eh?
Yeah.
If anything, I got a win out of it because we bought a house at the peak of coronavirus and we got it for very cheap. Low, yeah, big time, man. Yeah. Like made a fair bit of money on our house, which we were pretty lucky with.
Yeah.
And then work just continued as usual because Kiani's a teacher. And obviously I was FIFO. So yeah.
It's pretty normal for you.
It was pretty normal, yeah.
Yeah. So my fiance actually sold her business during that period. So she was technically unemployed. And then my business was closed. So we were literally like doing nothing. We were on the other side of the spectrum. Ooh. Our members were really good at that point. Like we were surviving. But
the old car park workouts and all that? Working out at home?
It was fucking weird because we had bottle shops open up before us. Because they were deemed more essential than gyms.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to
keep absolutely crazy.
You got to keep yourself busy when you're at home, eh?
Yeah, so. And then I remember pubs opened before gyms.
Yeah, insane.
Like it was absolutely crazy at the time. And then every time the lockdowns kept happening, they just kept getting more and more pressure.
Yeah,
the government just got like there was like someone sneezed and then we locked down for 3 days, and then again,
one person got COVID. Yeah, back in we go. But I think that's another thing. I'm just not against it, but just the way the government handled it. Like clearly, if you're fit and healthy, COVID's not going to touch you as hard as if you're unfit and healthy. So wouldn't you be opening up your gyms earlier than your bottle shops?
Yeah, 100%.
So they kind of got it backwards. You didn't see on the news at all that they were pumping into you. Have some multivitamins. Drink plenty of water, see the sun and all that. Instead, they were saying just stay home and get this vax.
Yeah. Yeah, it was shit advice. It was dog shit advice. But on the other hand, we had COVID come through our gym. We opened the borders in WA, and I'd say most of my members were in the top 1% or the first 1% to get COVID. It swept through quick.
Yeah.
The first week, I think we had 60% of our members out.
Yeah.
In the first week.
Yeah. I don't know if I got it from the gym or not, but yeah, I got it when the borders opened straight away, and it seemed to be at the gym.
It was nuts. Yeah. It seemed to be at the gym.
I think it was everywhere.
I think we had classes where there was 2 people in it.
Yeah. Back to full spectrum now, but
back to full. But oh man, it was a fucking ride.
Interesting time to be alive, eh?
I think the Yeah, I think there were a lot of pros and there were a lot of cons, especially for me as like a business owner. I got to really like work out what I wanted to do. It was a good like self-reflection of where everything was heading.
So the time off was a good pro for you?
Yeah, we like the gym, we were like fucking pumping, man. We had, 250 members. It was like 30 cunts in a class. Like imagine that in that space that we were in now, 30 people. We were just about to move into a bigger spot and it's just like probably wasn't viable with like what we were charging at the time. Like it just got out of hand. So it was a good reset to be like, cool, this is actually what we want to do long term, not this like 30 people in a class bullshit, which like you can't even like talk to anyone. It's true chaos.
It's pumping.
It's chaos.
Pumping, You almost don't have enough weight
pumping
to
with 16 people.
It's insane, man.
Yeah. So
especially, wintertime as well. We're still getting 15 to 20 people in there, which is good.
Yeah.
But it is, it's pumping. It's always pumping.
Yeah.
Really.
It's good. It's come good now.
Big time, yeah.
So Clint and I we were chatting about topics for this, and I thought it'd be a good one to share your most embarrassing gym story. And I've got a fucking ball terror. I used to be a strength and conditioning coach in America, and I don't know if you guys know much about America, but it's all about rites of passage. And like a rite of passage, especially like the Navy SEALs have one where you got to go through buds and Hell Week and, you got to pass all the courses and stuff like that. That's kind of how it works in strength and conditioning, obviously like with less risk of dying and doing anything crazy. But they basically just put you through the shit for a very long time in America. They make you clean, hundreds of dumbbells with a toothbrush. You'd be fucking mopping the floor every day. You'd be wiping down machines. You'd be making protein shakes. You'd just be doing all the bullshit that no one wanted to do. Yeah. And they would just do that for months on end for like 12 hours a day.
Where'd you do it? At a college?
Or? Yeah, it was at a college in America. Right, It was sweet. And then I kind of got to that point where I had a little bit more credibility because, all right, this fucking Aussie, they just call me the Aussie terrorist.
Aussie terrorist.
Just because I was not American. And we got to this point where I was like a little bit more accepted. I wasn't like that fucking piece of shit, like that guy that knew nothing anymore. And we were doing cleans and I thought I was big King Dick and I put 100 kilos in the bar. Back then, I didn't know what a hook grip was to save my life. So I got to yank this bar. As I'm pushing off the floor, I literally fly back probably like 3 meters, lose grip of the bar in front of a packed gym of like 120 people. Everyone is rolling on the floor laughing in hysterics.
This Aussie.
Yeah, this Aussie fucking terrorist is rolling around on the floor. And I think a part of me died that day. Like I never think I don't think I could ever come back from that.
Always in front of everyone.
Embarrassment. I just left work like that day. I just walked out and I was like, I'm not coming back.
I don't even want to be a conditioning coach anymore.
Fuck this. Yeah. I think my boss messaged me and he was like, are you okay? And I was like, no, my fucking ego has been crushed forever. Like, I don't think it gets much worse than that. Probably the worst ones I've seen in the gym is when someone takes too much weight off one side of the bar when they're unracking it and the bar flips.
Oh God, I did that the other week. Almost hit Jacob. That could have been bad. No, Jacob, sorry, almost hit Ryan. Yeah.
Insurance policies are up to scratch. Don't worry. And what's yours?
Mine's not half as bad as that. I think mine would be at Jets back in the day when I knew nothing about working out and exercise and all that.
Yeah.
Thought I was huge.
What is Jets? Jets like a $9 a week gym, hey? Or something?
$9.95, yeah. The old, you see it.
The worst equipment of all time.
Treadmills, old people, and shitty music, hey?
Yeah.
Sucked. Absolutely sucked, eh? But yeah, I was on the Smiths machine and I thought I was big and chucked 100 kilos on there. Came down and then didn't go back up.
Got pinned.
Yeah, and then I did the old Is anyone around? Is anyone around?
Anyone?
And then someone, came over and picked us up, and that sucked. I did the same thing, left straight away. I was like, "Fuck this!"
That's why you can never bench with plates with clips on, just because you can get pinned that way. That's how
true.
Dudes,
good idea,
dudes die.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah,
people die from that.
I've seen some videos where they come down and lands on the throat. And like,
do you see that? There was that fucking video of that chick. She was leg pressing. And it just came back and hyperextended her legs and she just like folded in half.
I've seen some of them, man. They make me feel sick.
Come up on TikTok. I'm like, that's why I'm never getting a leg press. No, I am. Yeah. I'll definitely get a leg press.
Makes me feel sick seeing those knees just bend backwards. It's bad,
what are you thinking?
Bad.
Oh, and the one I just saw. You would have seen it. If you're listening to this podcast, you're into health and fitness. You would have seen on Instagram, there was like CrossFit. Oh God. She was going for a push press and then kind of like leant back, fell backwards, and then the bar came down and like smacked her in the face. And the coach was just watching her. I was thinking, anytime that shit nearly happens in my gym, I'm like, never release that video to the world. Yeah. Otherwise, no
one's coming out of my gym, mate.
Yeah, that is not coming out of my gym.
Yeah. There's that one I mean, it's happened to me. It's probably happened to you as well. The old push press or jerk. You come up, you clock yourself in the jaw.
Yeah, that's a badge of honor.
That's always fun, eh?
Yeah, that's not. Sick. Is that why your nose so big? So many of them. So I recently got back from Bali, and we'll touch on the COVID thing, but I feel like our media was very biased towards not leaving Australia for a very long time. And there was a lot of stories that I saw. There's a lot of media stories. So I don't like watch the news, but I check like 9MSN and I check Perth Now every morning just to see what's up, see what kind of bullshit they're spitting. And then, you know, they were kind of painting it out as like foreign countries are struggling. There's no one around. There's high crime rates. COVID is everywhere. You're going to die if you get there.
Yeah,
like,
sanitary is nothing over there.
Yeah, sanitary is nothing. Yeah. Like, and so I went to Bali last week or 10 days ago now, a little bit longer. And I was fucking anxious as shit going there. Yeah. On the way to the airport, I was like, what if they are right? You know, like true, just because there was so much like manipulation and mass media about it.
Did you have COVID before you went?
Technically,
you kind of have.
I think I've had it. Yeah,
right.
I never tested, but don't tell anyone. So we got to the airport in Perth, and they made it pretty hard to get out. Like it was really? a lot. It was a lot of checking of documents, and it was pretty thorough. So leaving Australia was tough.
Yeah.
And then we get to Bali, and it's basically like COVID doesn't exist over there. So you're just going there. You get to the airport, they wave you through. You're out really quickly. Everything's working super well. And then you get in a cab and it's just like nothing's happened. No.
Get the old bintang, you're good to go.
Yeah, they didn't mention a thing about it. There was barely anyone wearing masks. No one spoke about it the entire time. I didn't hear of a single person that had it. All was sick. And I was traveling everywhere. So if you're thinking about traveling to Bali, Kuta is dead. I mean, it was a shithole before anyway. I know Clint did like it a little bit.
Not so much anymore, but back in the younger days,
Yeah, so Kuta's dead. Ubud was pretty quiet. Canggu's
a new spot,
super busy, yeah. And then Northern Seminyak is busy. And then there's a new area called Perenian, which is kind of like the up and coming. It's like the new Canggu. So it just keeps moving. North again? Moves north and north and north. Yeah,
because I was watching,
I saw that dude.
Oh, you saw him?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, really?
In Ubud at
what's his name? The Monkeys.
Yeah.
He's there. So I started watching him because we're going to Bali in September.
Yeah.
And just to obviously get an idea what's going on over there. And he put full confidence in me going over there.
Yeah.
All good.
So we were just walking through Ubud through the main strip, and we're like, I'll get some food. And I sat down and I see this dude with like full camera set up, laptop and like recorder and everything. And I was like, I fucking know that guy from somewhere. Some like Russian, Polish dude.
I love his voice. His voice is so good.
And I saw him and I was like, that's the YouTuber guy that Clint watches. And Steph and I were having a full gig.
Should have gone up to him, mate.
Yeah. I thought about it, but we sat down, I was having ribs, and then he left and I was like, oh, cool. I should shout it out to him.
Speaking of which, of what's going more north, he was saying that Sanua over I think that's on the East Coast, is it?
East Coast.
Yeah. They're building all new, what do you call it? Places like Finn's Beach Club.
Oh, cool.
A whole bunch of new beach clubs over there. So cool. I hope it doesn't like ruin Bali. Because for me, my favorite thing about Bali is going to the beach.
Swim up pools.
Swim up pools. Always got to go swim up pool.
That is so Aussie.
I literally, if I'm going to Bali, I Google hotels with swimming pools.
Swim up pools.
Sitting on the beach and watching the sunset and just drinking a $2 bintang, and you can get some cheap satay sticks just up the road and all that. But
do you eat the street food?
Yeah, I'm all about the street food over there. Yeah, you know those baba goolings and all that. It comes in the paper.
Yeah.
Those all that stuff, man. I love that. The traditional food. But in saying that, I think with all these,
that's how I get Bali belly.
I mean, the more you do it, you better get used to it. Yeah, I used to get Bali belly. I haven't got it in the last few times I've been. But as I was saying, over the East Coast side, with all those the beach clubs and all that, I hope it doesn't ruin the traditional Bali, because I know that they've wiped out all the they're called warungs, I think they're called, which is all the shop fronts on the beach in Seminyak and all that. So
just internationalized there now.
Yeah, just a lot of white people just buying up things, I guess.
It's like a lot of rich Indonesians now.
Really? There you go. I thought it was a lot of Western people.
Oh, it's everywhere. Yeah, like because to hire a staff member, there's like $200 a month full time. So you can get a single staff member for $200 a month. That's like half a day wage over here for someone.
Yeah.
So, you could get 10 staff members, open up a cafe for $2,000 a month for wages.
They were selling the hotels over there quite cheap, eh?
Yeah,
I'm
during
sure
the pandemic.
when COVID hit. Yeah.
Everyone was getting the fuck out of there.
Yeah. But I mean, that the monkeys bloke, his wife is Balinese, and I think a lot of people, all the locals, went inland, and we're just doing rice paddies and all that for the time being.
Which leads me on to the story.
Oh yeah,
that I've got written here. So we went on a bike tour on my birthday, electric bike, and Steph organized it. And I was like, "Oh, electric bike, like it'll give you a bit of resistance or a bit of help on the uphills and whatever." It's basically like you press a button on a push bike and it just goes for you, like quick. It was doing like 50, 60 k's an hour.
Sick, yeah.
So it's basically on a motorbike tour around the rice fields, which was sick. So we had this tour guide, and I asked him how the last 2 years has been, and he said, "Pretty tough." And I was like, "Oh, cool. Like, can you elaborate on pretty tough?" And he goes, "Well, I was basically going through the jungles in Ubud trying to find honey. And then when he found honey, he would drive down to Denpasar to sell it at the market. And he said sometimes he went like 2-3 weeks without finding anything, going through the bush and the jungle, trying to hunt honey."
Good job, eh?
Doing that for 2 years. Yeah.
Well, how much would you sell the honey for?
Fuck all.
Who would buy the honey? Just the other
other Balinese people.
Yeah, right.
And then he was collecting snails. Every time we stopped, he would be like, "Oh, there's a snail." And I was like, "Yeah, man, it's a snail. Like, leave the fucking snail alone." And I was like, "What are you doing with the snails?" And he was like, "Oh, I'll eat them." And I was like, "What? You're going to eat the snail?"
Really?
Yeah. He was cooking it in a stew at night to feed to his family because they were that broke.
Oh, and what rice?
Yeah, or barely, just snails sometimes. Snail stew.
Yeah.
So I gave him $50 Aussie as like a tip.
Been over the moon, eh?
Yeah, he was rap. He took a photo of me.
Really?
Yeah, he was like, "Come get a photo."
White Aussie terrorist.
Yeah, he's like this fucking Aussie guy. $50, which was sick. But I don't know. When you hear that story, what do you think? Like, how bad was the last 2 years for us comparatively?
Oh, comparatively, nowhere near, eh?
No.
Nowhere near this game. I remember, I probably would have been maybe 5-6 years ago now. We stayed at a hotel called the Pelangi. And we stayed there a few times a year for I think maybe 3 years.
Yeah,
I used to go with my parents, and Dad gave the bus driver 500 Aussie dollars because he wanted to buy a cow, and that just changed his life forever.
Yeah,
he's quit his job at the hotel, bought his cow, bought his pig, and he's good to go.
Opened his own hotel.
Yeah, how's that, man? $500 and that changes his life, eh?
Yeah, that reminds me of that part on. Have you seen Eurotrip movie?
No.
Nah. This guy gets like a 5-cent tip in like Bratislava in Slovenia.
Yeah.
He's like, "Fuck you, I quit. I'll open my own hotel."
With
5 cents because the currency's so fucked there from the inflation. Good times. So I always get asked recommendations for books and TV shows and what I'm watching. I try to limit my consumption of entertainment to like an hour a night. Yeah. Sometimes 2 if I'm feeling cheeky, and if it's a weekend, maybe 3. But I've been watching Stranger Things and you've been watching Vikings. So I wanted to know, like, what is Vikings?
If you like violence and gore, Vikings.
Yeah.
Just my favorite thing about the show is just you get all the massive battle scenes. You've seen Game of Thrones, surely?
Yeah.
I reckon it's
best show ever.
Better version of Game of Thrones.
What?
Less talking bullshit and more violence.
So what they like basically go to England and pillage all the
well, the first I think that's the first season. They go to England. They pretty much just run through I think it's Catholic Church.
Yeah.
And then Ragnar takes, what's his name?
Ragnar Lothbrok.
Yeah, he takes that bloke.
They're all named Ragnar.
They're all named
all those
hectic.
like, yeah.
All of them, mate. And they all got the long hair. And
yeah.
Look sick, look powerful, like hell strong. I mean, to be fair, if I was alive back in the day and we were going up against Vikings, I don't think we'd stand a chance. Yeah.
Have you seen The Last Kingdom?
No, I haven't. It's on the list. It's on the list.
It's good.
Apparently, it's pretty good. Yeah,
I finished the 5 seasons that with Steph a couple of months ago. It was good.
I just haven't had not time, but like I don't know. Like I've just been watching YouTube.
Yeah,
just that's it. Just on
like what
on the couch. The monkeys usually and
porn addiction.
and Kiani and I have been watching the Kardashians. I hate watching it, but I love watching it. I can't.
You've been watching Kardashians.
Yeah, man, it's one of those shows I can't
check yourself.
I know, man.
What are you doing?
It sucks, but you put it on and it's fucking entertaining.
It's easy watching.
It is easy watching. Yeah, I can't. I find it really entertaining.
They're not bad to look at.
Hell rich women, and they're not bad.
Like the richest,
literally the richest of the rich. Just like I think
Kylie's, what do they like?
Kylie's got her I think it's a Range Rover. It's just full pink. Everything's pink.
In and out.
Outside. No, outside's black, inside's pink. But she used to have a full
Is she dating Travis Scott? Is that the one?
No, that's oh yeah, that's Kylie. And then here we go. Courtney's dating Travis Barker.
Yeah. Oh, married too.
Married now. Yeah, after fucking like a year and something like that. And then Kim's with Pete Davidson as well.
Nice. So if you want any info on the Kardashians, ask Clint. What would you rate Vikings out of 5?
4. If not 5.
How do you get to a 5 if it's only 4?
Less talking,
more sex scenes.
More.
I feel like they nailed that in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, Game of Thrones was almost like soft porn sometimes. It was pretty hectic. You couldn't watch it with your parents.
Cersei was always getting railed by.
Yeah, and all those, they always had prostitutes.
Yeah.
Vikings is less prostitutes, but heaps of tits still. Yeah, heaps of tits.
I think I've seen the first season of that. I need to get into it.
Man,
how many seasons are there?
I've watched up to season 4, but there's 5 seasons now.
Yeah.
So I've got to watch the most recent season. I think this will be the last one, I think, surely. Because
they keep saying that.
Yeah, but everyone's dead though now. So
everyone's
spoiler alert. Yeah. Everyone's at least dead or dying.
What about the spoiler alert? His son. Is he dead?
Yeah. So what's his name? Bjorn?
Yeah.
He's dead. He died he got killed in end of season 3, I think.
Shit. He was a good actor.
He was sick, man.
As an actor.
Yeah, big time. And then the other 3 kids, Ivar, can't think of the other 2. They're still alive at the moment, but Ivar and I can't remember his name. They've just gone to battle. But that's where I'm up to.
Cool.
So one of them's done.
Ivar's in battle. Yeah, they're getting killed.
Yeah.
So I've been watching Stranger Things. Steph and I were like, Stranger Things is one of those shows that just comes out every many years. So you've just forgotten what the fuck happened in the previous season. And then the recap, I'm like, basically I'm watching a new show again.
Real.
Yeah. So it's essentially like there's some kind of parallel universe on the world. And then there's some, forget her name, but she's got powers and she can open up the divide between the 2 universes and monsters come through and then whatever. But basically what I found this season, I'm on season 4 at the moment. It's much better video quality. Like the cameraing, the angles, everything sick. So it's very cinematographic.
So whatever it is.
Cinematographic. One of the words between.
How do you find watching kids though? I can't watch
but
I find the acting.
They're like badass kids.
Real?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like that show, the movie It. Stephen King.
Yeah.
Good, he's good, wicked book. I haven't read it. I hate books.
Yeah.
But just same thing. The movie just got ruined because
the book acting. Looks wicked.
Yeah, it sounds wicked apparently.
So yeah, Stranger Things. It's pretty scary. It's
really,
it's like scary. It's not like there's a zombie. Oh, he's fucking not real. It's fucking a bit terrifying.
I'll have to give it a burn.
Yeah, it's good. I would give it a 4. I keep falling asleep, so that's probably not a good sign. That's not keeping me up at a 5. So
is that why it's not a 5?
Yeah, Steph wakes me up and she's like, "You're sleeping." I'm like, I'm just resting my eyes for a second. But I think it's a 4 out of 5. Thanks for checking out this episode of Mostly Uneducated Opinions. Hope you guys got something out of it. It was a bunch of fun talking shit. Don't forget to leave us a 5-star